Hello, Karl Monahan here. Friday Takeaway. These are short little podcasts of clinical reflections, things I've come across in the 20 years I've been working with this condition, nearly 20 years I've been working with this condition. All of these takeaways are all focused around male pelvic pain conditions, including prostatitis and chronic pelvic pain syndrome. Today's session is titled 18 months. Because it's October 2025. The other week, I was told by a patient that he will get an appointment with NHS Urology, but it won't be for 18 months. That's 1-8, yes, 18 months, an 18-month referral for urology. Wow. I mean, I'm not, but I'm a little bit speechless because that would be a pretty boring podcast, wouldn't it? If I just sit here flabbergasted with mouth agape for the next 10 minutes or so. It's not much for you to listen to my my breathing. We have other meditation and relaxation podcasts you can check out, but this one I feel needs a little bit more content than me just lost in absolute disgust, really. How long are you waiting at the moment? I've got some statistics that have been generated by ChatGPT, so look, we can allow for a little bit of inaccuracy here, but there are some guidelines to suggest some waiting times in and around the UK for various treatment waiting length times or appointment waiting length times, and then we can look at urology a little bit as well. So as of January 2025 in England, the median, so one of the average waiting times for referral to treatment across consultant-led specialties, so that's a variety of different things, is about 14 and a half weeks. And the referral to treatment, which is a standard set as a standard that non-urgent consultant-led treatment should begin within 18 weeks of referral. That's according to the NHS. And some hospital trusts provide urologic specific data. So, for example, Cardiff and Vale Urology, the average wait for the first outpatient appointment is 36 weeks. Royal Surrey NHS, first appointment waiting time is 10 to 15 weeks, with more complex cases up to 25 to 30 weeks. UCLH, University College London Hospital, states that typical waits for male LUTS, that's LUTS, which is an acronym for lower urinary tract symptoms, are about 9 to 12 months. With any patients suffering from erectile dysfunction waiting for about 6 to 9 months. So actually what we find is it's not 18 months is a long time, but it's not that long. I find that really uncomfortable to say when we look at other waiting times at the moment. Why have we got to this point? And part of the issue here is, and I'm not about to put down prostate cancer at all. I can't. Why would I do that? But when a patient with prostate cancer is given a 2-week fast track, or suspected of prostate cancer is given a 2-week fast track, that's astounding. That's brilliant. That is an incredible service, and I get it because that's a life-threatening condition. Possibly. Many men die from other causes and they have prostate cancer. They don't necessarily die from prostate cancer. Things have changed in the last decade or so as to how dangerous it was believed prostate cancer to be. And I'm not saying that there aren't aggressive cases of prostate cancer out there at all. I am not saying that. But they've got it right. The NHS in the UK, and I'm only working off the data in our country at the moment. So it will be different depending on which region you're in the UK, which area and region of the world that you are in about your waiting times. You know what I'd love to hear? What are your waiting times in the country where you are? Do you have a national health service like we do here in the UK? And if so, what are your waiting times? Or if you have a private health sector in your country, what are the average waiting times for that for you? I know here in the UK, you can probably get an NHS, a private referral to urology within, I would probably say, 2 to 6 weeks. But you might be paying £300 for a 15-minute consultation, and that might be the very first of many other consultations and tests that you end up having to pay for. We are incredibly lucky in the UK to have a free, in inverted commas, we pay for it in our tax, NHS service, National Health Service, but it's rocking. It really, really, really is rocking. And when a patient is suffering with a life-altering condition like male pelvic pain and the symptoms thereof, and they've been given an 18-month waiting time, it's no surprise that that patient feels even worse. They feel even more hopeless. They feel less heard and less seen, more desperate, more panicked, perhaps even more pressure to get over this thing now because they can't wait 8 minutes, 8 weeks, 8 months, 18 months. That's going to feel like a lifetime. And I don't know where that's going to go within the NHS within our country, but it's quite common at the moment that patients are being given. That was an extreme example, so that was an outlier. I haven't heard of an NHS referral for urology to be 18 months before. It is quite typical for 6 months waiting time and even 12 months waiting time for an initial appointment. I'm also hearing that patients are being given 6-month follow-ups that take this medication for a period of time. It might be a 12-week course of antibiotics or ongoing treatment of tamsulosin, or something else, and we'll see you in 6 months' time. So it's giving a big buffer zone to the urologist, and I can't help but be a bit cynical. Urologists are great and they do a wonderful job for the right population. Sadly, this is an underrepresented population who is poorly understood and poorly treated, even as far back as 1999 by the eminent Dr. Curtis Nichol, who was, before he retired, the world's leading urological research expert in male pelvic pain. Even back in 1999 was claiming that this is a wastebucket diagnosis. It's a wastebucket condition where men with these symptoms get thrown into, often dished out the antibiotic of the month, and dismissed, with the urologist hoping to never see that patient again. I'm paraphrasing, but that's not very far away from his quote from 1999. That's 26 years ago. I don't feel much has changed. I really don't. And that's incredibly, incredibly, incredibly sad. Something has to happen. At Pelvic Pain Matters, we're doing all we possibly can. We are setting up our online community, we're setting up our online support groups and our online men's hangouts. We're doing an awful lot in terms of raising awareness, and I am going to pioneer a campaign that we reach out to GPs and urologists and we write them letters about the state of what we're going through at the moment as patients, as clinicians, and what we're seeing. And the aim of this is to start to spark a little bit more awareness and a little bit more support for us all in this challenging environment right now. So more on that in the coming months. Do keep your eye out. We will be drafting a letter. I'm giving you a bit of an insight into the future here. Not 18 months wait for this, but it will happen sooner than that, where we want to draft a letter for you as patients to then send out and forward onto your primary and secondary caregivers within GP and urology, to let them know that there is a support community out there. There are options for people to get the right and necessary support, and they don't have to wait 18 months in the dark, alone, scared, afraid, isolated, panicked, and often far more catastrophic and desperate. 18 months is too much. It's not right. There is care, there is support. You are not alone. All right, we've got you. We are here for you. 18 months is way, way too long. Something has to change. This has been a Friday takeaway. Hope you found it helpful. Bit heavy, I know, but this is the condition. I'm trying to raise awareness around it. I'm trying to bring it to the light. Catch you in the next one.